Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Deja Vu, and we are on to set 3 now of SKT1 versus Cool Hite Sparkyz. In this, the Shin'an Bank 0809 Pro League, Round 4, Week 4. SKT1 has a 2-0 lead so far after Hyuk somehow took down Yarnak in a ZVZ, and then Bisu with some incredible cheese took down a great player in Lita. So that is two big-time games. That game against BC went by very, very quickly in something like 9 minutes, and yeah, that was some phenomenal cheese by him. And now we've got Fantasy for SKT1, a 2-time OSL silver place, including the last, actually I think that might be the last 2 OSLs, certainly the last one, I do know that for sure. And he's going to be going against a Zerg player for Sparkyz named Hogil, and Hogil is 45% overall, 39% versus Terran. Let's get the start positions here. Fantasy is going to be at the 3 o'clock position in blue, and Hogil is going to be at the 6 o'clock position in red. This is Neo Medusa. So far in TVZ, it is 50% 3-3, so we do not have any sort of race imbalance so far, only 6 games, so it's not statistically significant. But we will see what happens here. Who is going to take advantage of the map? Now the buildable middle, we have seen Great, or Hades, whichever one you choose to call him by. He has been taking advantage of the middle against both Best and, against Bisu and Free, against 2 Protoss players, by building proxy hatches in the middle. We will see if maybe Hogil has some sort of plan involving a similar build against a Terran player. I don't think that would be as effective because of the invention of the tank that Terrans have, but I think the buildable middle definitely helps out the Terran player more. And a supply depot going down kind of outside of his natural, so I guess Fantasy is going to go for kind of a expansion block almost. Like he's gonna block outside of his natural expansion and make it easier for him to expand. If he can hold it, of course, that will make it quite easy for him to expand. We'll see how Hogil's first Overlord actually scouted in the correct direction, so he will see this out and he will know what Fantasy is doing, and we'll see how he responds. Yeah, Barracks going down now. He will need one more. I don't know what fits in that gap. I don't think a supply depot will actually finish that block. That might need another Barracks or an engineering bay. But if he is going to go M&M, then 2 Barracks is not exactly unorthodox. Another SCV coming down to put down another building. Maybe a supply depot will fit in there. And it does look like Hogil is going to be going for a 12 hatch here. Yes, there is the hatchery going down at the natural Neo Medusa. And he's going to, both players are going to go for their gas expansions first, is what it looks like. And that SCV, that second SCV for Fantasy, actually going to go out and do some scouting here, and it is going to scout in the right direction. He probably saw the Overlord and knew which direction it came from. And it looks like this drone is actually going to try and bother this SCV that's building the barracks. And Fantasy should try and be careful here. That SCV is already down to 20 health. 20, 15, no, it doesn't get another hit. 15, 10. That drone is down to 12 health though, and that SCV I think will survive. I think it's going to be too dangerous for Hogil to continue the harassment. He should probably just run away with that drone. Marine is being produced. He really should run away. And Command Center going down. 1 racks into CC for Fantasy. Extractor, and I assume that was the spawning pool, is going down for Hogil. And Fantasy has not yet blocked off his middle there, so if there are some Zerglings being produced as soon as that spawning pool goes down and Fantasy does not finish that block, he will be able to maybe do a run by. And no, there is the supply depot. The supply depot is going down, so there will be a block. And yeah, he doesn't look like Hogil was saving larva for the spawning pool completion. I did see 1 larva become a egg, so that might be for 2 Zerglings or something like that, or he might be ignoring Zerglings altogether and just going for drones. We will see, although he really should produce some Zerglings and try and get rid of this SCV scout that can be so harassing and so annoying. Drones still being produced at the expansion anyway, so nothing yet out to deal with this SCV, the scouting SCV. Okay, there come the 2 Zerglings, and they caught that SCV completely by surprise. That SCV almost went down without a fight, only 5 HP left, and this is going to take some great micro by Fantasy to keep this thing alive for much longer, to get much more of a scout. And nope, nothing else left for it. It already goes down. That Command Center is almost down, and Academy going up for Fantasy as well, so we will be seeing a full medic Marine build. I don't think there's a factory going down yet or anything, so even though Fantasy does have a knack for weird builds and mech things and Valkyries and crazy things like that, it looks like this will be a more traditional M&M build from him. which is kind of disappointing in that we have gotten used to Fantasy doing crazy things, and it is a lot of fun to watch him just try out new, exciting builds. But, you know, sometimes you do have to play Standard every now and then, and so that way your craziness still has a chance of working. And here comes a Spire going down for Hogil, as well as a Creep Colony at his natural there. He really might want to think about getting a third hatchery up now that since the Terran is going to have 2 bases, and he should have seen that with that Overlord. I think he does see that, and yeah, it does look like now he is sending a drone to the back of his base to throw up a third hatchery. The Sunken Colony is actually almost kind of premature, I have to say. It doesn't look like Fantasy's moving out yet, and he should know that when Fantasy moves out with that Overlord, and actually no Zerglings out on the field really here yet for Hogil. But yeah, that Creep Colony really could have waited for a while, could have used that drone for some more mining before it had to do that, and every drone in the Zerg arsenal, in the Zerg economy, is so important because you normally just don't have that many drones once you start pumping military. It's hard to stop once the fighting starts. So 2 Zerglings out to fight this. It's 5 Marines, 2 Firebats, and 2 Medics moving out so far for Fantasy. And it looks like another third barracks going down. We will see whether Fantasy decides to push out now, or if he's just trying to usher away any Zerglings that are out there. But it doesn't look like Hogil's really focused on Zerglings. I think this is going to be full-on Mutalisks here in a moment. Once those eggs hatch, I expect to see 6 Mutalisks coming out here. And that Firebat is going to... Actually, that Firebat might actually go down to these Zerglings. It's going to be close. You could have had it. You could have had it. And now the Zergling's going to run away. He got a very good split on those Zerglings, Hogil did. By separating them, the Firebat does not do any splash damage to the second Zergling, which is very, very key. And 5 Mutalisks now out. And it's actually going to be seen by Fantasy by that Firebat, but that Firebat does go down, and now the turrets have just started. This might actually be late. The turrets are up at the natural there, but I don't know if the turrets are going to be up in the main in time. There are some turrets going down absolutely everywhere for Fantasy, which is very, very important. And we will see whether they are up in time. This is going to be pretty close. And he's going right into the main, and yes, the turret was up in time. And here come the Medic Marines to try and deal with this Mutalisk harass. And yeah, the game's going to come down to how well this Mutalisk harass works. If either player can get a big advantage, do a lot more damage to the Mutalisk than damage taken for Fantasy, or if the Mutalisk can do a lot of harassment to the SCV lines and to these turrets. And he's coming here again at the natural here with some more reinforcing Mutalisk. Takes down 1 turret. The second turret is going to go down, and then some SCVs will start going down before the Marines can even get into range. 2 SCVs go down, a 3rd SCV going down now. And now he can aim at another SCV, gets a 4th SCV, and more Mutalisks still coming in. And he needs to be careful now. He might be able to pick off this Comsat station. Yeah, that is what he's going for. And he's going to pick off an SCV before he finishes off this Comsat station. And Hydra's now down for Hogil, and he will be transitioning, I assume, to Lurkers here. So it'll be a Mutal Lurker, maybe even some Ling Force here in a little bit. But he is doing a ton of damage, completely stopped mining here at the second base, and his Mutalisk Mescaro is pretty good here, taking down some Marines now, and he's taking some hits, but not too many, I wouldn't say. This is pretty solid by Hogil. He's doing a lot of damage. Bunker going down there in the back there for Fantasy, and yeah, he's still going to be losing more and more Marines here. He's trying to bring his SCVs back to start mining again. That turret that he was trying to put up goes down immediately. And Hogil is doing a great job with these Mutalisks, taking down some more Marines here, and just totally keeping Fantasy in his base, totally not letting those Marines move out. And this is the position that the Zerg wants to be in, just taking advantage of these cliffs and taking limited fire from the Marines, picking them off one by one, stopping turrets, hitting SCVs every now and then, killing medics now, just doing so much damage and harassment now, and hoping that lasts long enough for the Hydralisks and the Lurkers, well, yeah, the Hydralisks turning into Lurkers to get into position.